I'm standing here on the massive front deck of my brand new 2027 iKon VLE 21, and I'm super excited to show you everything that went into this build. That was good, wasn't it? Let's work front to back here and start up here at the bow. I've essentially rigged it just like I rigged my 2025 VLE 21. I skipped a year. I didn't have it. This is a 2027. Because of the time that I ordered my boats, I didn't have a 2026. So I went from a 2025 to 2027. So just like my previous boat, I have two Humminbird XPLORE 12s up here. I use my Mega Live 2 up top, and down here I like to put the Mega 360, and then about a third of the screen I like to set up just for mapping. I have it on our in-house low profile dual graph mount here that comes from Boat Logics. It's super sturdy. It keeps these things nice and low so that when I'm driving I can see over everything. I have the Minn Kota Ultrex Quest. I run a 45-inch shaft. I don't like the long shaft. It adds more weight to the boat, and I fish in a lot of shallow water. I don't have to pull that thing way up all the time. Got my Mega 360 on here and the Mega Live 2. The one thing that I do a little bit different here with this short shaft trolling motor, if you rig this up the way it comes from the factory, because of the knuckle that's on this trolling motor here, it needs to be slid way up here, and then your 360 is even higher because you want a little bit of separation there. So what I do here, let me pop this open. There's a little spacer right here that's actually made for the Humminbird Mega Live target lock. It's a spacer and an adapter that you can buy. It's about 15 bucks on the Humminbird store. I bought that adapter and I put it in between the mount and the unit, and it gives it that extra little space to get past the knuckle on the trolling motor. So that's my little Humminbird mod right there. Lets you move it down about 4 or 5 inches further down, and you can put that Mega 360 down there a little bit lower too. So that's my little modification. All of this is running on our in-house clean power yacht wiring harness. There's no need to put any aftermarket wiring harness in any iKon boat. I don't care what kind of graph configuration you have. If you have 2 or 3 graphs up here, that in-house clean power 8-gauge wiring harness is perfect. So another thing I changed is I went to this little, I call it the triangle pad there. I like it better than the stomp buttons. They're just a little bit more responsive. I get a little bit more control over them here, so I like this unit better than the stomp button. So that's the front of my boat there. Most people know we have the biggest, widest front fishing deck in the industry. The whole front deck of this boat's padded, not just the up here, but the lids are all padded also. Compression latches there, keep the lids pulled tight when you got them closed so you don't get any water inside. I carry a lot of tackle in my boat. You can see right here, get that sweatshirt out of the way. There's no reason, these are big storage bins, and got this little sliding deal in here. I've got it way overloaded, lots of soft plastics here from CPF Lures, cpflures.com, little shameless plug there. But I run a lot of tackle here, so I have a lot of weight in the front of my boat. And this rod locker that we have here, you can put about 30 rods in there. I've got 1, 2, 3, I've got 7 of them out now. Got my Evolve rod sleeves here. But you can see I run a max load of rods there too, because you never know, you might need 30 rods. You never know. Keep that. Oh, let me show you one thing here too. We talk about this a lot. See how the base of these lids, they're not resting on the deck, they're suspended here. We have this extra deep gutter system here. So when it does rain or when your boat's getting wet, it drains quicker. All gets in here. You don't get any water at all in your rod lockers. And this is just more storage over here. Got a lot of life vests, a bunch of stuff in there. Cooler, I don't need to show you my cooler. Here's a big thing that I did different this year. So my seats are a little bit different. Same Victory Series seat, but the Cool Feel vinyl is now an option on the Victory Series. So this is a big upgrade, and I get a lot of questions, does the Cool Feel vinyl really work? And it does. If it didn't, we would just call it textured vinyl. But yeah, it's I don't know what temperature, what percentage cooler it is, but this is a huge upgrade, originally only available in our Legend Series boats, the LXs, LXEs, that type stuff. But it also makes our seats look cooler. I got that gray stitching with this is the black color here. It gets hot here in Florida, so having this cool field vinyl is a big upgrade. I got another big upgrade for 2027, and that's in my Livewell system. Still the same patented L2 Livewell system. I have the Fish IV system, which you can fill full of G-Juice, and it will automatically or manually inject your favorite Livewell additive directly into the Livewell, so you don't have to worry about that during tournaments. But the upgrade that I've made this year is I've added FishLung. See those stones right there? It's not just an air pump. When you have just a basic air pump in your Livewell, you're putting ambient air in there, which is about 20% oxygen. And the FishLung Gen 2 creates 90 to 93% pure oxygen. Keeps those fish alive. We get hot water down here. We're in the middle of June right now, but next month in July, we're gonna see 92 to 94 degree water temperatures. And that oxygen gets depleted quicker when the water's warmer. So having that 90 to 93% pure oxygen constantly pumped into the Livewell, it runs on its own timer, 4 minutes on, 4 minutes off. This is an option, FishLung is, for all the Legend Series boats from iKon. If you want to order one on a Victory Series, you won't see it in the boat builder, but you can do it as a deviation through your dealer. So if you're ordering a Victory Series boat and you want the FishLung added in there as an option, make sure you bring that up with your dealer and it can be added in. But it's great in the tournaments because you lose one fish in some of these tournaments, 4 or 8 ounces, it can mean thousands of dollars, and that right there can save you. You can make up for it in one tournament. So there's that. I'll show you the actual unit though here. Let me get these lids open. Come over here. I got my son Parker running the camera for me. So there's the FishLung Gen 2, hooked up right there at the factory, 4 minutes on, 4 minutes off. So my batteries, I went with the same battery setup I had last year. I have two 12-volt, 135 amp hour Stealth Krakens lithium batteries running in parallel here. I had 0 problems with these things last year. I run them hard. These Humminbirds, I had a 16-inch Apex and two 12-inch Explorers last year, running them all on this. This year I got the 4 Explorers I'll run all day long, and my batteries are still usually, even if I'm running my Livewells and the FishLung, they're still up in the mid 80% at the end of the day. That Stealth 3-bank charger there, the ST21236. So basically, the first bank, it will charge a 12-volt battery. The second bank will charge a 12 or a 16, and the third bank will charge 36 volt. Now I'm gonna go over here and show you my 36 volt batteries. I have two 36 volt Stealths here. I can't remember what they call. They got such cool names for them, but these are the 36 volt, 60 amp hour. So essentially they're running in parallel. Do I need to? Probably not, but I have to. I got essentially 120 amp hours here running in parallel. That's that Fish IV system. I don't have anything in it yet. I only got about 6 hours on the boat. And then you see my Raptor pumps here hanging on our custom bracket that's wired into our wiring harness. Wiring harnesses aren't just your electronics, they're the whole nucleus of the boat, the whole nervous system. So where a lot of people will just stack, whether they have power poles or Raptors or Talons, they'll stack the power button or the power wires directly on the cranking or house batteries. We have an independent bus bar over here so that when the power shut off on your boat, the whole entire system shut down. There's no power to your shallow water anchors. That'll stop some of those accidental deployments while you're running across the lake. So here at the console, I made a big change. The last 2 years, I think it was. Did I have a 16-inch Apex the last 2 years? I think so. Last year, definitely on my boat, and I think the year before that, I had one 16-inch Apex. This year, I like the Explorer so much, I went to two 12-inch Explorers. So I have 2 up there and 2 here. This is on our in-house dual graph mount. It keeps them kind of low profile, not sticking way up in the air. I can see where I'm going, less wind resistance. So I have both those rigged up there. I like to keep map here, and then any kind of sonar use over here, my side scan. I still do a guide trip occasionally, so if you have somebody in the back of the boat and they want to see what I'm seeing up there, I can put the Mega Live 2 here or the 360. A lot of guys, when they're fishing the back, they don't care what the live's showing because I'm looking up there, but they want to see that 360, and I can go into the settings here and put it there. Got my cell phone charger here. Parker's phone's on there now. So that'll charge right through an OtterBox. Hot foot, tilt steering, twin blinkers. On a Victory Series boat, I mentioned the FishLung before. If you get that FishLung deviation, it's gonna be right there on your accessories tab, right there. Back home, I'm gonna finish up the walkthrough here, all the stuff we didn't need to do while we were out on the lake. If you look at the color of my new VLE 21 here, it looks very similar to the color I had last year. Here, I'll get you a better look. Boat's a little dirty, but last year my boat was Midnight Black. This is a new color that for 2027 is replacing Midnight Black. It's called Black Magic, which black with just a little bit less flake, more of that black comes through. And then where I had a white bolt on my last year's boat, this year I just have the jet black gel coat. It really looks nice when it doesn't have hard water stains from Lake Toho. And I did the more chromed out logo instead of a blacked out logo. Also, my carpet decals came in. So if I'm not gonna catch them, I'm definitely gonna try and look good catching them. That's really important in the bass fishing industry. So I got my CPF Lures logos on here, FishLung, Stealth batteries, the iKon tailgate tour, because I kind of help run that. Humminbird and Minn Kota look good right there from Z Decals. They take care of us all the time. Last year I had 14-inch rims. The fuel wheels, they're our fuel 14-inch wheels. I can't remember exactly which model they are, but they're the best looking 14-inch wheels available on an iKon trailer. This year, I decided to step it up a little bit and I went back to 18-inch wheels. These are the Badlands wheels, also a little dirty because that's what they look like when you're going down the road. When you order a boat from us with the steel fender option, it's gonna come, if you have 18-inch wheels, it's actually a different fender. It's wider than the 14-inch wheels. So you have a little bit more of a step there. And then you'll notice this padding here from Stewart Products comes on our boats on the front and on the back. And I ordered some extra from Stewart Products and cut out a nice piece here on each fender for a step there. Look at those cut lines. I even use my little Dremel kit to round it, make it real professional. Notice how straight. Let's get back here to the back of the boat. This is the other big change I made for this year. Instead of 8-foot Raptors that I've always run, this is my first year ever running 10-foot Raptors. There was a few brush piles down there on West Lake Toho and on Lake Kissimmee that I couldn't reach when the water's higher, so I'm really enjoying these 10-foot Raptors. If you choose to put Raptors on an iKon boat, on any iKon boat, Minn Kota doesn't currently make a bracket that will work with Raptors. So I use the Talon brackets. Power pole, they have a bracket that works. If you choose a Minn Kota product, a Raptor or a Talon, you need to use this adjustable bracket. Set it as high as you possibly can. See right here? You can go higher, but then you can't get your cover on there and you can't adjust it back this far. You can see I have it with one little notch left here, and over here I have it all the way forward, so I get a little bit of a wider stance. If you bring this up, see I have both of the mounting bolts on this 8-inch Bob's jack plate going through the sliding section or the sliding holes. If you mount it up one higher, right there, you have to move these out a little bit, and they won't tow like you want them to. They'll actually kind of tow in with them mounted just like this, as high as you can, so they don't drag in the water. If you mount them low, or if you use a power pole bracket with these Minn Kota Raptors, they're mounted too low, they'll drag through the water. They'll really drag when you go into a turn, and they will cut 3 or 4, maybe even 5 miles an hour off your speed. So that's how I have them mounted there. Where I live here in Central Florida, and for this boat and the way I have it rigged, the Fury 3-blade 24 pitch is by far the best performing prop. Central Florida especially, is very comfortable elevation for these 4-stroke motors. Lake Toho, the Kissimmee chains at around 50 feet above sea level. You go to the Butler chain, you're at 90. The Harris chain somewhere in there. If you're at a higher elevation or if you have a really heavy loaded boat, A lot of those Bravo 4-blade 24 pitch props are working for us. Some of the guys that have higher hours on their Mercuries, like over 200, the 23 pitch Fury, I don't know if over 200 hours, if they're losing a little bit of their top end torque. Anyway, 23, 24, 24 works best for me. Three blade Fury. I have not tried the new improved Fury that came out. This is the standard Fury here. A couple more things on the trailer here, a couple more upgrades you can make to our trailers besides the option to have fiberglass fenders. Our fiberglass fenders are super cool looking. I'm more of a steel fender guy, but I'll show you up under here. Gatorbak bunks on all 4 bunks there. Gatorbak bunks are the way to go if you're gonna upgrade from carpet. I don't think I'll ever go back to carpet because those Gatorbak bunks, this is the second year I'm running them. They don't scratch like carpet will. Actually, it's not the carpet that scratches your trailer, your boat hull. It's the debris that's in the carpet. When you're launching and loading, especially a lot of people have been power launching, power loading, you get a lot of suspended debris, sand, dirt, grime, all that kind of stuff. And when that sits in the carpet and you run this polished fiberglass, power loading it up, especially if it's dry, if you don't dip your trailer bunks and get them wet, it's gonna scratch the hull. It doesn't matter what brand of boat you have, debris in the carpet on your bunks will scratch it. Gatorbak has solved those problems, so I won't ever switch from Gatorbak. One last thing about the trailer here, the 3 steps, 1, 2, 3, and this pole here are an awesome addition on our trailers. Tire cover, road guard paint. But that's pretty much it. That's my boat. Oh, and some custom iKon motor decals. Because again, if you're not gonna catch them, you gotta look good. Thanks for watching my walkthrough of my 2027 iKon VLE 21. I'm gonna try and get back to making videos like I used to back in the day before I worked for iKon, putting some right there on my main YouTube channel and on Instagram and TikTok and Facebook and all that stuff. And CPF lures, hopefully soon CPF lures will be more readily available around the country. We're currently working with a distributor. If they pick us up, tackle stores all over the country. Probably every single one of them will have CPF lures. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to follow me.